On News Hour tonight. Ahead of 2027 election, PDP shuts out North from presidency while retaining Damagum as chairman. Grain prices fluctuate in Katsina despite fresh harvest. FCT rural roads worsen, residents cry out for help. And on the foreign scene, Israeli strikes on Gaza hospital kill 15, including 4 journalists. Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin the news with political matters. The National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party has unanimously adopted the report of its zoning committee chaired by Bayelsa State Governor Daure Diri, which placed the presidential ticket in the South. In a communique issued after the meeting in Abuja, the NEC also affirmed Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, as a venue for the party's elective convention slated for November. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the decisions were taken despite resistance from allies of former River State Governor Nyesom Wike, who did not attend the meeting. It will bring you details of this report before the end of our bulletin. Now, the decision of the People's Democratic Party's National Executive Committee to zone the 2027 presidential ticket to the South while retaining the national chairman in the North has been described as a vindication of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the G5 governors. Reacting to the development, the minister's aide, Lere Olayinka, said the PDP had finally admitted its mistake of ignoring Wike and his allies in 2022. He recalled that the group had warned against having both the presidential candidate and the party chairman from the North opposition that was rejected at the time. According to him, that decision contributed to the party's electoral defeat in 2023 and its subsequent internal crisis. Olayinka argued that with the next latest resolution, the PDP is merely correcting what Wike insisted on 3 years ago, though he questioned whether the move may have come too late. Now joining us via Zoom to discuss this further is a political analyst, Jide Ojo. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the News Hour.
Good evening, it's my pleasure.
So what are your takeaways from the outcome of the NEC meeting? Any surprises for you?
Well, a couple of surprises. First was the confirmation of Damagum as the substantive national chairman of PDP. Don't forget that he succeeded Dr. Iyochayu in acting capacity since 2023. The party never deemed it fit. They filed several NEC meetings and they never confirmed him as the substantive. So that came to me as a surprise because I thought they are going to have another convention, elective convention in November. Why not wait till then? But I think they must have done that to give him full powers to be able to do some of the things he needed to do. But that's aside from that, I'm also kind of with this press statement you have read from Lady Olayinka, maybe this will signal the sheathing of sword between Nyesom Wike and his brother, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, because the two seems to be at loggerheads. And just last week, the South caucus of PDP claimed that they were not invited to a stakeholders meeting that was held in Lagos. And on one of the media channels, Wike are threatening that something to whether he will go to court to challenge the November convention or maybe organize a parallel one, because he said he was not carried along, he was not invited. I would not know whether he was at today's NEC meeting. If he was there and then they seem to have done what he wanted done, maybe that would signal the end of hostility and chart the way forward for PDP. But I wish to congratulate PDP for whatever decisions they have come up with today.
All right, so we would like to know, how do you see this impacting the 2027 political equation?
I think it's going to strengthen PDP for better, particularly now that they have said all positions that are currently in the northern Nigeria will remain so, and all positions that in southern Nigeria will remain so, which means that Damagun may actually have his coronation on November 15th, but Oyo State, because I want to believe that all things being equal, he will retain that position. I will lead the party to 2027 election. It may be very tough for them to win the presidency in 2027, although not impossible, but I'm just saying it may be tough. But at least they can expand their victories at the state level, win more states. Right now, they have only 10 states out of the 12 they initially had. Delta governor and Akwa Ibom governor have left the fold, but they have 10. And if they can keep these 10 and also win more, don't forget there are 3 governorship elections coming up. One this year in Anambra, November, and then there will be Ekiti and Osun next year before 2027. They can strive to win more states, more senatorial election, more House of Reps, more state House of Assembly. But I think winning the presidency in 2027 may be a tough call for them, because now that they have zoned the presidential ticket to the south, it means they are going to split the southern vote between Bola Tinubu, the APC candidate, and then the PDP candidate. That means North will be the decider of the presidential victory in 2027.
So finally, what does this mean for Wike's political relevance in the PDP?
Know how they will be able to handle its excesses. Don't forget that we don't know what will happen to Fubara the next month. Hopefully, it will be reinstated. Whether Fubara will stay in PDP or he will cross over to APC, we don't know yet. Because what I've also heard is that over the weekend, I read in one of the dailies that some of the loyalists of Wike are contesting the forthcoming local government election this weekend under the platform of APC. That about significant number of them, with the exception of 3, are contesting under APC, which may be indicative of the fact that Wike may be playing safe by wanting to have significant loyalists in APC, and that means maybe if the odds does not favor him, he may actually move to APC alongside with Fubara. But that's a far-fetched option. The most important thing is that he had wanted the presidential ticket to be zoned to the south in the spirit of equity, justice, and fairness. Now he has gotten that opportunity. The party has formally endorsed that position. But like I said, how do you deal with the anti-party activities of Wike, openly romancing APC, already promised that he is committed to working for President Bola Tinubu in 2027. This has been also been a loyal party man, because obviously now his party will have a presidential candidate in 2027. Does it mean that Wike will no longer campaign for the PDP presidential candidate despite having gotten his way with the zoning of the presidential ticket to the south? Then who gets it in the south? Because South has three what I'm saying, 3 geopolitical zones are in the south. We have South, we have Southeast, and we have Southwest. Where will the pendulum swing in the south? To Southwest where Seyi Makinde is poised to lead the campaign? Or is he going to go to Southeast? Or is he going to go to South-South? But that is a discussion that maybe will come up at the convention.
All right,
First to say
thank you.
that it has been a win-win situation as of today for both the Wike's camp and then the Seyi Makinde or Damagun's camp. But I wish the PDP the best of luck in coming years and months and weeks and days.
Thank you so much, Jide Ojo, for joining and for giving us that insightful contribution.
My pleasure. Do enjoy your week.
Thank you. Now let's circle back to our headline story.
It's a carnival-like atmosphere here at the Wadata Plaza, headquarters of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, the PDP. As you can see at the background, the various interests within the party are beginning to show their faces. Their uncompromising ambition ahead of 2027 remain very clear here. You can see the various blocks showcasing their intentions or their ambitions, to clinch the ticket of the party ahead of the 2027 election. All of this is happening on the sidelines of the 102nd meeting of the party taking place here. After a series of consultative meetings, PDP stakeholders outlined key resolutions reached by the party leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we deliberate all matters on the agenda today, let us remember the PDP is bigger than individuals. It's also bigger than factions. It is bigger than any challenge. This 102nd next meeting must therefore mark a decisive step in our journey to rescue Nigeria
so that we can cautiously and cleverly navigate to convention. All the remaining issues of the various congresses have been resolved by the working committee with the help of the governors and other elders. Today I would say all the communications to INEC have been signed by our National Working Committee and that we don't have any disparity issue.
The hope of our nation rests heavily on our ability to rise above division and to act with courage and clarity. Colleagues, there are three pillars that must guide us as we prepare for the task ahead. Number one, unity and progress of the PDP. No political family can survive without unity.
I want to take this opportunity from the Senate to thank our governors for the tireless efforts that they have made to create this atmosphere of peace and stability within the PDP. We equally want to salute the resilience of members of the party for keeping faith with the party up to this moment.
While the Wike camp insists that it is not, in tune with the decision to hold the convention in Oyo, other camps like the Makinde camps are very pleased with it, of course for obvious reasons. Following the harmonization of positions and ratification by the National Executive Committee, the PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunaba addressed journalists on the outcome. With the resolutions adopted, party leaders say attention now shifts to implementation and unity ahead of future political contests. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, away from political matters, despite expectations of a bumper harvest and the arrival of fresh food items, grain prices continue to fluctuate across the Ndume and Bakuri popular markets in Katsina State. Currently, a 100-kilogram bag of old maize sells between 41,000 naira and 43,000 naira, up from 36,000 naira that it sold last week. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
Guinea corn, another staple food, rose from 37,000 naira to 41,000 naira within just 7 days. In Funtua Zone, Katsina State's agricultural hub, the rising cost of farm inputs is raising concerns among farmers who fear it could significantly affect productivity and, in turn, food prices. At the Dandume and Bakwari markets, which play a key role in determining food availability and pricing across Katsina and beyond, grains prices recorded a slight increase this week, despite the anticipated arrival of new supplies. While old white beans sell for as high as 70,000 naira per 100 kilogram, the new harvest goes for about 60,000 naira across Funtua zone. Stakeholders blame this imbalance on government's policies that encourage food importation while neglecting subsidies for critical farm inputs like fertilizer, herbicides, and other chemicals. In practical terms, farmers say they now need to sell 2 bags of maize just to afford 1 bag of fertilizer, an unsustainable situation. The agricultural sector has been neglected for decades. Just look at budgetary allocations. Farm inputs are now beyond the reach of peasant farmers, who make up the majority. No incentives, nothing. How do you expect us to produce under these conditions?
What we are experiencing is the higher price of fertilizer. We purchase fertilizer at the rate of 60-something thousand naira, and the price of the food items in the market is going low and low. So we are expecting the government to intervene so that the farmers will not cry.
Farmers and traders are appealing for government intervention, stressing that many of them are already struggling to repay bank loans. Beyond pricing, stakeholders also point to insecurity as a major challenge. They argue that persistent banditry in the northwest prevents farmers from accessing their lands during irrigation and wet season farming, further undermining food production. Some traders took loans last year and bought thousands of tons of grains. If they sell it at today's prices, they will incur losses. For example, many bought maize at 60,000 naira to 70,000 naira last year, but it now sells for just 43,000 naira. We are not calling for food prices to skyrocket, but we want a fair balance between the cost of inputs and the prices of food items. They are appealing for a well-coordinated security operation across the region to allow farmers safe access to their fields. Another big concern is insecurity. Many farmers have abandoned their farms for almost 2 decades. Bad roads wasn't the problem. Government must urgently tackle insecurity if we want to fight poverty and ensure food security. The traders insist that strong political will and strategic action are needed to boost agriculture and business activities, which could revitalize not only Katsina's economy, but also the entire country. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now talking security, military operatives on Monday rescued 2 women from Kankara Forest in Malumfashi local government area of Katsina State. The 2 women were abducted separately on the 1st and 4th of August 2025 during a deadly raid on Karfi village. Trust TV sources confirmed the rescue, saying the women went through medical checks in Kankara General Hospital before they were handed over to the Malumfashi Council chairman this afternoon. According to reports, the rescued women were found in healthy conditions but looking tired and exhausted. Reports from Karfi community confirm that the women have since been reunited with their families. The rescue operation underscores the escalating insecurity in Katsina State and the urgent need for comprehensive and well-coordinated search with a view to rescuing hundreds of captives from bandits.
You last one again.
Now, several residents of communities in Mariga local government area of Niger State on Monday fled their homes due to the invasion of their communities by bandits. Trust TV learned that the bandits operated in the affected communities from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m., rustling cattle belonging to residents. According to reports, some children who were fishing by the river were taken away by the bandits, while one farmer was reportedly shot around Dusai village. Sources say residents of Ragada and adjoining communities are currently taking refuge in Gulbin Boka, also in Mariga local government area. When contacted, the Commissioner for Homeland Security, Brigadier General Bello Abdullahi Muhammad, retired, confirmed the attack, adding that security operatives had taken control of the situation. Now, here is a timeline of bandit attacks in Niger State from April to August 2025. In May 28, 2025, Munya local government area, over 100 bandits on motorcycles raided villages, killing several residents, burning houses, looting food, and rustling more than 200 cattle. In June 2nd to 3rd, 2025, Kuchi Munya local government area, DSS and military ambushed a group loyal to Dogo Gide, killing 45 bandits. 5 DSS operatives were injured. The next day, a joint task force fought another group near Kuchi. 32 bandits and 3 security personnel were killed, with weapons and motorcycles recovered. In June 24, 2025, Kwanan Duse Forest, Mariga local government area, bandits ambushed a military base, killing about 20 soldiers and injuring several others. The Senate condemned the attack and called for stronger security measures. In July 8, 2025, Mariga local government area, Kombashi, Bangi, Mongoro, 13 people, including a police officer and 2 vigilantes, were killed when bandits attacked in large numbers. They destroyed a communication mast to block reinforcements. In July 14 to 15, 2025, Rijau and Mariga local government areas, 6 farmers were killed and more than 20 people, including women, were abducted. Hundreds of cattle were rustled, leaving many residents displaced. Late July 2025, around July 30th, Mariga local government area, about 300 bandits riding 3 per motorcycle raided villages. They abducted around 30 people, burned a secondary school and security vehicles, and caused mass panic. Now, our reporter in Niger State, Abubakar Akote, is joining us via phone call to give us an update. Good evening and thanks for joining us. All right, so what do we know about the attack? What more do we know about the attack?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Abubakar?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so what more do we know about the attack?
The most challenging aspect of the attack now is that dozens of residents that have fled their homes, complaining of hunger. Some of them claim to have said they have not eaten since in the morning because they couldn't take any food out. So currently, they appeal to government to come to their aid, especially with humanitarian support, especially food.
Okay, so what are the authorities saying and what was their response to the attack?
The Commissioner for Homeland Security, Brigadier General Bello Abdullahi Mohammed, has said that security operatives are on top of the situation. But residents said the attack, which started since from 11 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m., happened without any counter operation from security operatives. That's why some of them could not return home up to this moment, because they don't know where the bandits are currently taking shield.
Thank you so much, Abubakar, for joining us and for giving us that update.
Yeah, thank you.
Now moving on, tension has gripped in the Naku community in Patigi local government area of Kwara State after residents fled en masse following a series of violent bandit attacks and the abduction of 3 villagers. The once bustling community now lies deserted with homes, shops and streets abandoned. An online video shows an eerie silence across the community, underscoring the residents' fear and desperation. The kidnappers are reportedly demanding a ransom of 100 million naira for the release of the abducted residents. Meanwhile, community leaders have appealed to the Kwara State government and federal authorities to intervene urgently, citing the humanitarian and security crisis triggered by the mass displacement of residents. Residents explained that ongoing abductions and attacks had forced them to abandon their homes and livelihoods.
Hello. Good afternoon. Because bandits and kidnappers are coming in day after day to terrorize us and kidnap people. As you can see, currently 3 of our members are in their custody. And as you can see, nobody, no single person in this church today. Today is Sunday, and no single person in the community that will go into the church and pray, because everybody has left. As you can see, this community is devastating day after day. No single person, even the villager, is not in the community, because everybody fled for their life. Everybody is no more in this community. Please, I'm pleading to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the...
In the meantime, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State has said that no resources would be spared in protecting the lives and businesses of residents of the state. He particularly assured the troubled people of Babanla and Okeode in Ifelodun local government area of the state of government's resolve to strengthen public safety and economic activities in the area. He noted that the government stands in solidarity with them as multi-agency security deployments have been made to strengthen public safety and deter criminals from taking advantage of the people. The governor was accompanied to the troubled Babanla and Okeode communities on Saturday by the security commanders, including Brigade Commander Brigadier General Barkins, Police Commissioner Adekimi Ojo, Ifelodun Local Government Area Chairman Haji Femi Yusuf, and Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Security Alhaji Muhyiddin Aliyu. Recall that residents of the communities have been consistently attacked by kidnappers and bandits in recent times, a development that prompted residents to start fleeing the areas. The governor on his Facebook page said he visited Babanla and Okeode, among other great communities in Ifelodun local government area, to reassure the people of his government's commitment to strengthening public safety and economic activities. Away from security matters, the student union government, or still talking security, I beg your pardon, the student union government of Abubakar Tatari Ali Polytechnic and residents of Bauchi have once again appealed to the state government and security agencies to urgently address incessant attacks on students of tertiary institutions. Their renewed call follows a recent assault on students of 2 higher institutions in the state. Trust TV's Adamu Imam completes the report.
Students of Abubakar Tatari Ali Polytechnic have again come under fresh attacks by suspected armed robbers who stormed Wintin Dada, an off-campus community located directly opposite the institution last Friday. Community members and the students' union government expressed worry over the repeated incidents with the latest attack being the second within just 11 days, describing the situation as unacceptable and calling on security operatives to urgently act. While an eyewitness, Haruna Sheba, narrates what transpired during the incident.
We are calling on the attention of the government to please take necessary action and make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book for justice for that particular student whose name Samuel Mbami, a student of mass communication ND2 of Abubakar Tatari Al Polytechnic. And to our students of Abubakar Tatari Al Polytechnic, I, as their representative, am calling on their attention for them to stay calm and not to take any further action, because it will cause another damages altogether.
Enter this problem so that they will tackle this issue of entering polytechnics and other places. They will tackle this problem of attacking students anyhow rampantly. Actually, it was very, very unfortunate.
Yesterday, thief came into our compound yesterday. They passed through the back. After they enter, they went to open the gate. After they opened the gate, before they barged into the other door, the two guys, they was not sleeping. So after they barged the door, they just stand up to check, and they used that their torch to flash their light so that they will not even see anything. So before that, so as they tried to fight the guys, so they used the knife to choke him. So after they took him, he managed to follow. They tried to manage to follow the thief, two of them with the knife that they took him.
In a swift response, the Bauchi State Commissioner of Police, alongside the rector of the Polytechnic, visited Winton Dada for an on-the-spot assessment. The commissioner assured both the institution and the community of swift action to address the situation. We always encourage our students to make use of the school hostels except in special circumstances. At present, we have newly built hostels that are at the final stage of completion, after which they will be allocated to prospective students. We sincerely hope and pray that such incidents never occur again in this institution. We therefore urge parents and students to always prioritize school accommodations over off-campus option in order to reduce risks and ensure safety.
Basically, we urge everybody to act and then report strange incidents. If you see something, say something, notice strange faces in the community, promptly alert the police and the community leaders so that we take prompt action.
The commissioner also urged students and residents to remain vigilant in their communities, hostels, and off-campus residence while avoiding late-night movements to reduce the risk of falling victim to criminals. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Traditional African masks get modern reinterpretation in Lagos. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you just joined in, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Ahead of 2027 election, PDP shuts out North from presidency while retaining Damagum as chairman. And grain prices fluctuate in Katsina despite fresh harvest. And moving on to more stories, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented a certificate of return to the member-elect of Oronomoda South State Constituency in Zamfara State. Presenting the certificate on behalf of the Commission, the resident electoral commissioner for Zamfara State, Mahmoud Isa, described the occasion as a crucial milestone in Nigeria's democratic journey. The report.
It was a moment of celebration in Zamfara State as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, formally presented a certificate of return to the newly elected member of the State House of Assembly, Kamilu Saidu. Saidu emerged winner of the recent by-election held on August 16, 2025, followed by the supplementary election conducted on August 21st. Resident Electoral Commissioner Mahmoud Isa, who handed over the certificate, expressed delight with the conduct of the polls, which he said stakeholders widely acknowledged as credible, transparent and acceptable. In his remarks, the member-elect Kamilu Saidu thanked the people of Kauranamoda South for turning out in large numbers to vote for him and pledged to reciprocate their confidence by ensuring quality representation at the assembly. An APC chieftain in Zamfara State, Ibrahim Mohammed, charged the new lawmaker to remain committed to delivering good governance and effective representation to his constituents.
I know him to be a very respectful party man, a very credible, easygoing person. What I will urge him to do is to be very, very vigilant, to be very, very extraordinary, effective. Let him operate an open door policy. Let him represent his people very well. They have given him these mandates without coercion. They elected him because they like him. So let him reciprocate the gesture done to him by the electorate.
The seat became vacant following the death of Aminu Ibrahim Kaswaridaji, who was elected in 2023 under the platform of the All Progressive Congress APC. Kamilu Saidu's victory now fills that void in the Zamfara State House of Assembly.
Now, 3 opposition members of the Taraba State House of Assembly have defected to the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. The members include Umar Adamu, representing Jalingo 1 State Constituency, who defected from the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, and Zakari Sanusi, representing Ibi Constituency, on the platform of the NNPP. The third lawmaker, Anas Shaibu, representing Karim 2 constituency, defected from the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA. Reading their letters of defection on the floor of the House, the Speaker, John Kizito, said their defections followed Governor Agbu Kefas's desire to turn around the fortunes of the state. Kizito also explained that the defections followed a careful consideration and extensive consultation with stakeholders, political associates and constituents. Out of the 23 members of the Taraba State House of Assembly, 16 are PDP members, while 8 are of the opposition All Progressives Congress APC. The Academic Staff Union of the University of Abuja Zone has called on the federal government to implement the 2009 agreement and release their 3.5 months withheld salaries to avoid a strike. The zonal coordinator, ASU Abuja Zone, Al-Amin Abdullahi, made the call during a news conference on Monday in Abuja. He reiterated that the ASU Abuja Zone was demanding the payment of promotion arrears of its members, unconditional release of their 3.5 months of withheld salaries, and release of third-party deductions to the union and cooperatives. Also, the union is demanding the payment of 1 year's arrears of 35% salary award to its members, the implementation of the new conditions of service for its members, and the adoption of University Transparency and Accountability Solution as a payment system for universities. He said the neglect of proper funding for educational institutions has resulted in conducive learning environments and a decline in the global ranking of Nigerian universities, amongst other things. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, says it is mobilizing its members across the country for a nationwide rally scheduled for Tuesday, August 26, 2025. At a press conference held at the Federal University of Oye-Ekiti on Monday, the zonal coordinator, Adeola Oyebisi, said the move was part of the union's efforts to pressure the federal government to address its long-standing demands. He stated that the rallies were the union's first decisive response to the government's continued inaction, warning that the protests signal what lies ahead if concerns remain unaddressed. According to him, the rallies will be held simultaneously across universities in the country, with academic activities suspended during the demonstrations. According to him, the National Executive Council (NEC) of ASU has given the government until its scheduled meeting of August 28 to respond to its demands, after which the next line of action will be determined. Now, persistent rainfall has worsened the condition of rural roads in the FCT, disrupting socio-economic activities and agricultural productivity. Many of these roads, which are untarred and without proper drainage systems, become impassable during the raining season, causing crop losses and increasing transportation costs. Farmers in particular are forced to rely on motorcycles or pay higher transport fares, which directly reduces their income. Trust TV's Noel Sampson completes the report. We apologize. We'll bring details of that report in our subsequent bulletin. Now to other stories. Lagos-based actor and visual artist Elson Adejuwon is carving a niche in the creative industry by reshaping global perceptions of African masks through his distinctive Cubism-inspired artworks. Adejuwon, who began drawing as a child in primary school, describes his artistic journey as one of discovery and evolution. In recent years, he has focused on a unique African mask series aimed at challenging long-held misconceptions about African art. Let's take a look.
Adejuwon traces his love for arts back to childhood when he first discovered drawing in primary school. Over the years, his passion grew into a creative journey that led him to develop a signature style that fuses Cubism with African heritage.
This is an African mask. I've been doing different African masks for a long time now, for a while now, let's say about a year. So I've been drawing different African masks using Cubism as a style. So what I would say about it, what drew my attention about the African masks is that many people have had a misconception about the African masks. They believe it has to do with rituals, it has to do with something diabolical or something like that, associated with devil or something like that. And I'm just here to change the perspective of that. So that's basically what this Max series is all about.
Despite challenges along the way, Adejuwon says his motivation is sustained by creativity and faith.
The issue that comes with selling artwork is, well, I just believe it's time, and should I say time? Let's just say time. So I believe with time I'll get my own customers and everything, but I still have some people who patronize me 1 or 2 times and everything. Some people believe my artworks are expensive, or artworks are generally expensive. Some people don't even try to price it. So that's the conception people have, that artworks are very expensive. And I would say, for the value that you get for it, for the process that goes into it, sometimes it takes me hours. Definitely it takes me hours to coming up with it. Coming up with the concept takes me hours. Now talk of implementing or applying the colors and everything. So it's something of value. So if you consider the value behind what is being done, you will understand that yes, this thing has a value and it has the price is worth it.
His debut pieces in the series titled First Love is a blend of bold colors, effects, and symbolic lines. Adejuwon described it as the starting point of his mission to redefine African arts for a global audience.
I just create my mask believing that it's an art object. So this is basically the colors. I talked about the colors, different the lines. I talked about the lines, and that's just all about this particular artwork. I gave it a name because this is actually the first one I did when I started this series. I gave it a name and I called it, I gave it a title, This Is My First Love. So I said First Love is the title of this artwork.
Through his Cubism-inspired African Max series, Elson Adejuwon hopes to challenge stereotype, reshaping cultural narrative, and secure the global recognition that African arts truly deserves.
Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a suspected drug kingpin and 5 members of his syndicate accused of planting narcotics on innocent pilgrims traveling through the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, leading to the detention of 3 Nigerians in Saudi Arabia. The NDLEA said the syndicate, led by a 55-year-old man, is identified as Muhammad Abubakar alias Bello Karama, was responsible for smuggling illicit substances aboard Ethiopian Airlines flight ET940, which departed Kano on August 6 for Jeddah via Addis Ababa. Those implicated by the syndicate included a 39-year-old mother of 5, Mariam Husseini, Mrs. Abdullahi Aminu and Abdul Hamid Sadiq, all of whom are still being held by Saudi authorities on the allegation of drug trafficking. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi on Monday said investigations revealed that the 3 pilgrims each checked in only 1 personnel bag, adding that members of the syndicate, in collusion with Skyway Aviation Handling Company staff, tagged 6 additional bags in the passengers' names, 3 of which contained drugs. He said Karama traveled separately on Egypt Air, while his accomplices checked in the drug-laden luggage on Ethiopian Airlines. Other suspects identified by the spokesman were Abdul Basit Adamu, Murtala Olalekan, Celestina Yayok, and Jazuli Kabir, whom he said had confessed to their roles with evidence of payments traced to them. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break.
Welcome to Daybreak on Trust.
Just join in. This is News Hour on Trust TV. And now in business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has transferred regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Bayelsa State to the Bayelsa State Electricity Regulatory Agency. The electricity market operator, in a Monday post on X, said the development is in line with the amended Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the provisions of the Electricity Act 2023. Under the Electricity Act 2023, which was created to give states more control over managing electricity supply in their areas, states are empowered to regulate electricity generation, transmission, and distribution within their boundaries. The Commission said it had directed the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company PLC, PHED, to incorporate a new subsidiary, PHED Subco, to assume responsibilities for intrastate supply and distribution of electricity in Bayelsa. Upon completion, PHED Subco must obtain a license from BYERA, among other directives. NERC stated that all regulatory and operational handovers should be concluded by 20th February 2026. Nigerian crude grade price rose on Monday, settling near $70 per barrel after a record peak earlier in the year. Bonny Light crude oil reached about $70 per barrel as the country surpassed the quota set by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and its partners, OPEC+. Crude oil prices saw a slight recovery after weeks of selling pressure, with Brent oil futures increasing to $68 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate WTI oil futures increased by 15 cents or 0.24% to $63.81. The rise was after Ukraine stepped up attacks on Russia, raising concerns that the Russian oil supply could be disrupted. Expectations for a cut in U.S. interest rates also supported the outlook for global growth and fuel demand. Bonny Light crude oil sold for $71 per barrel in July, peaked early August to about $75 a barrel before plunging. The price rise was attributed to a combination of improved security conditions in the Niger Delta and a slow recovery in upstream investment, boosted by the transfer of assets from foreign oil companies to local oil operators. Now, away from Nigeria, Gaza's Civil Defense Agency on Monday said 4 journalists were among at least 15 people killed when Israeli strikes hit Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Agency spokesman Mahmoud Basel said The death toll is 15, including 4 journalists and 1 civil defense member after strikes hit Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. According to media watchdogs, around 200 journalists have been killed in nearly 2 years of war between Israel and Hamas. When asked by AFP about strikes targeting a building at the medical complex, the Israeli military said it was checking the reports. The Palestinian Journalists Syndicate said a group of reporters had been martyred in the line of journalistic duty as a result of the Israeli bombing that targeted them at Nasser Hospital. In a statement, it named the reporters as photojournalist Hussam Al-Masri, Mohammed Salama and Mariam Daga, and journalist Moaz Abu Taha. A spokesperson for Qatar-based TV network Al Jazeera on Monday confirmed its photojournalist and cameraman Mohammed Salama was killed in the attack on the medical complex. At least 4 civilians were reportedly killed and 3 others seriously injured in the early hours of Monday following renewed clashes between M23 rebels and the Congolese army and its allied forces near Goma. A spokesperson for M23, Lawrence Kanyuka, said the incident occurred around 2:30 a.m. on Monday when the coalition of the Congolese army, the FDLR, Wazalendo and other militias launched incursions into populated areas of Kibati, Munigi and outskirts of Goma. This comes a day after the rebels on Sunday, August 24th, reported a drone attack carried out by the government coalition and foreign mercenaries on the area called Kadasomwa. And now in sports, Wiki Tourist Football Club in Bauchi on Sunday defeated Plateau United by 1-0 in their opening game of the Nigeria Professional Football League MPFL match game played at the Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi. The only goal of the game was scored through a penalty kick at the 43rd minute by the newly introduced striker Dadon Lewis during the first half of the game. It's now time for more sports updates with Kabir Lawal.
Nigeria's D Tigers wrapped up their 2025 FIBA Afro Basketball campaign in 5th place after posting a respectable 3-1 record, showing glimpses of promise despite falling short of the medal round. D Tigers opened their campaign strong with 76-59 points win over Madagascar before recording back-to-back victories against Tunisia 87-66 points and Cameroon 99-90 points. Their only defeat came in the quarterfinals against Cameroon, where they lost 75-91 in a tightly contested battle. The result eliminated Nigeria from the championship to secure 5th place finish. At the top of the standings, Angola cemented their dominance in African basketball, defeating Mali 70-43 in the final to secure a record-extending 12th continental title recently in Luanda. The Angolans thrilled a sold-out 2,700 capacity Kilamba Arena with flawless 6-0 run, lifting their first Afro basketball trophy since year 2013 in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. Mali, meanwhile, celebrated their best ever finish by taking silver with a 4-3 record. Earlier, Senegal beat Cameroon 98-72 points to clinch their 3rd place, securing a 3rd consecutive bronze medal. Still on sport news, Nigeria has officially commenced its quest to secure qualification for the weightlifting event at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland, with a strong delegation currently in Ahmedabad, with strong delegation currently in India for the 2025 Commonwealth Lifting Championship. The championship, which begins today and will run until August 30th, serves as qualifying tournament for the Glasgow Games scheduled for July 23rd to August 2nd, 2026. Among the Nigerian lifters are Akwa Ibom Doe of Ruth Akwasku and Edidiong Umafia, both representing the country with high expectation. That's sport news. I am Kabir Lawal.
And that's a wrap on News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you so much for watching.